Hello and welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports. And today is a quick episode in George Story Time. This is a series of videos where I just talk about stuff. Someone in a previous video, the one where I did a reaction video to GCN's video about tire construction and how rolling resistance was so important between the three different types of tires. I think some of you have seen that video. By the way, please subscribe. Over 75% of the folks watching my videos are not subscribed. Please subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. And we could literally have 10 to 20,000 subscribers on this channel easily. We're only at 80 something, 8,000 something. So George Story Time, but just before that, or before I start, I also want to talk about the tariffs that are on, off, on, off, on, off, and how I believe that's going to impact us here in the cycling world, what things I'm doing as a shop. So if you'd like to hear my take on that, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I'm in the process of working on it, but it's so topsy-turvy. I don't really have anything concrete, but you know, there are some preventative measures I am taking as a shop and as an individual. Okay, anyway, so let's set that aside. Let's get into George Story Time. I've been doing a ride where, I do a loop, coastal, rolling, and then as I get back towards my shop / home, I've got a 3-mile climb that I go up, and it's 3-mile climb, kind of very shallow approach, and then it eventually gets to 6-7% and just stays there for a while, and it's about 900 feet of gain. And I've been kind of doing that over the last couple of weeks, just trying to, by the way, I'm suffering from a little bit of motivation to get going. There's a 1200K, so 750 miles in Colorado, the Front Range. It's a 4-day stage, 1200K, which is unlike anything I've ever done before. Most of my brevets are long, are through the night, which is a competitive advantage for me. I stop very little and I race through the night while other people take sleep breaks. So this is going to be very interesting. But my friend Tommy Southwood and I will want to do this event together, and so we will be tethered and ride out at whoever's pace is slowest, right? So I've been trying to increase the frequency of my rides, not so much the distance of my rides. So I need to get into the distance as well. That's in June. All right, so back to the story. So on this 3-mile climb over the last 2 weeks, which is, there's like a school at the bottom, there's a school at the top, and I think that this person goes to one of the 2 schools, and they're on a pedal bike. Most kids in this area, it's a travesty, but most kids in this area are on e-bikes, not even pedal assist. They just push the button, twist the throttle, and they're going up this 7% grade. And we have to be really careful because they buzz you from either side, left, right, on your inside, on your outside. It is the wild, wild west. But I'm going up the hill, and about 2 weeks now, just about every other day, I'm seeing this girl going up the hill on the downside on the sidewalk. And I'm going up the hill on the right side of the road like we do here in the US. And she's pulled over, and then sometimes I see her pedaling and then pulled over, or, because it's a 3-mile climb, so I could see her way up the road, pedaling and then stop, and then pedaling and then stopping, and then I catch up. So the timing worked out just perfectly on Monday, today's Wednesday, that I had gone up to the top and I had turned around to come back down. And so now I'm on the same side of the road because there's a median in the middle, and it's just inconvenient for me to go across. But now I'm on the same side of the road with her. And I pull over, And I, just introduce myself and I just start talking to her. And I say, hey, were you aware, this is after some small talk and pleasantries, were you aware that you still had 3 more gears back here to shift into to make this hill easier, right? And the bike has a triple in the front. I think it was 7 speeds in the back. A mountain bike. She's got a backpack on. She's got a jacket and all this stuff. And it's 75 degrees lately. So she's overheating. She's laden with a backpack and she's not using the gearing. So I said, listen, you are part of this machine, right? You're an integral part of this machine. You're the engine and this is your transmission. So we need to use your engine in the best way possible. So I said, you see this little thing here, because it's a flat bar bike. So you see this right here where it's got these numbers. Okay, if you're going up this hill, you want to move towards that one, if not in the 1 gear, which I believe was at least a 20 something, 28 or something. And if you're going up the hill, you want to be in your littlest one in the front. So she goes, oh, okay. Like she had no concept of this. So as I go to look at her rear derailleur and where it's set up on the cassette, she's got 3 more gears to go. And I'm like, you've got 3 more. So let's see if it, because I'm assuming maybe it's not shifting right. Maybe that's why she didn't even bother with the three other options. And as I look down, there's packing. If anyone has unpacked a bike that has been shipped to them, there's these big plastic pieces that protect the rear derailleur when you put them inside of a box. That thing is still attached there. So, I mean, this thing hasn't even been unpacked properly from wherever she got it. So I said, hey, lift up the back end of the bike. Let me shift through the gears and let's make sure everything's working. And it turns out that the derailleur was not adjusted properly. So I said, oh, you hear that noise? That means it's not adjusted right. And she goes, oh, yeah, I heard that. I said, okay, that's good. At least you were trying to make it to another gear. So I adjusted her rear derailleur. I said, look, now when you click every time you click your shifter, you see it's going 1 gear at a time, 1 gear at a time, 1 gear at a time. Okay, now with the thumb, we're going to go up the cassette. Boom, boom, boom. Index finger down the cassette. Okay, so when we want to go up a hill, we go up the cassette. When we want to go down the hill, we go down the cassette. She goes, oh, okay, okay. So we still have, I don't know, a quarter mile left of the climb. And I said, listen, let's ride together and I will help you use your gearing properly. We're on the sidewalk and we're going up. And I said, this is the gear you were in. We're rolling now. And she says, yeah. I said, okay, now with your thumb, click it again, click it again, click it again. And we finally got to the big cog because I've adjusted her rear derailleur. She goes, oh my God, that's so easy. And it's like, yes, mechanical advantage, yes. So let's pedal with that one. Let's get our cadence up. And we're starting to crest. And I said, okay, now we need to move away from that big cog to the other ones, right? So remember, we go up the cassette. So each cog gets bigger up as we go up a hill, depending on how steep it is. And then we start going down to the smaller cogs when we crest and go down the other side. She says, oh, okay. So now we're going towards where it's about to tabletop before it drops. Because, I mean, literally this hill goes up 3 miles this way, tabletops for, sorry about the fire trucks. And it tabletops for, I don't know, 50 meters, not even 50 meters. And it literally just drops down the other side at 8, 9, 10% grade. So we just have a few seconds to show, okay, shift. And then we go to the middle ring because we couldn't get the big ring. I forgot this part. I left out this part. We exchanged phone numbers, and I said, listen, I own a bike shop basically at the bottom of this hill, this housing community. Come on in because we can't get your front derailleur to work properly. And so we crest, we start going down the other side. She shifts to the middle ring, and she's like, oh, I didn't know what all this was for. There's just so many gears. And it's like, well, you have a lot of gears because this bike is supposed to be used on dirt. You know, it's a mountain bike. And so, you know, a lot of times you're going to get really, really steep ramps and stuff like that. So you need to have a lot of gear options. And, you know, it was just, like I said, this is just a story, but it made me think about the importance of the local bike shop. Had she purchased that bike from a local bike shop, and it's obvious she didn't, the brand was unrecognizable to me. The packing material was still on the bike. So this is where it all comes to a close for this video. The local bike shop is always going to be relevant. People want to save money. I get it. Times are hard. Or, you know, I can buy a $300 bike. The local bike shop, the lowest price bike they got is, you know, twice as much, $600. I just need something to get back and forth to work or my kid to get back and forth to school. I understand all of that. But the value of the local bike shop, one, the bike would have been tuned properly for her to access all of her gears. Two, I at least, and I know other sales staff that I have trained, would have educated her on the fact that she has 3 rings in the front and 7 in the back. She confessed to me she's never switched the one in the front. Now in this area, like I said, we've got, you know, 3, 4, 5 mile hills. And then on the other side, you know, the same distance descending. So she's been in that little ring in the front, which is probably like a 23 or 20, you know, really low number, pedaling like mad, or maybe just coasting, of course. So she would have been educated on how to use her gearing, right? And the bike would have been unpacked properly. I mean, there's still stuff on that bike that should not be on there. And, you know, it's a safety hazard to be riding around with that extra packaging stuff because that falls off. There's another bike behind you that gets caught up in their drivetrain. I mean, all kinds of the weirdest and craziest things can happen, right? So I just wanted to share this story with you because I really want folks to believe that their local bike shop, you need to be a patron. You need to support that local bike shop because that business has to stay local and you are better off in the long run. If you don't have a local a good local bike shop, I apologize for their misgivings. But most local bike shops and most owners want to do the right thing for their customers. So maybe escalate from the sales staff or the mechanic on your way up to the manager or the business owner because he or she would want to know why a customer is dissatisfied and may not come back again. All right, so that's that part. But today I've got another gentleman. I did a bike profile on his Canyon. So we bought the aero bars. And, you know, this is, again, the local bike shop is someone who is going to install these aero bars properly. Because if you remember from that video, the brake hose was wrapped around the head tube incorrectly. This was a user error, not the OE manufacturer, the Canyon manufacturer. So now show him how to properly use the aero bars, how to adjust them, you know, first I'm going to install them properly. And then I'm getting a flat kit together for him because he doesn't know what essentials he needs, right? So he needs a bag, a tool kit, you know, some tire levers, you know, just the basic stuff. But he doesn't even know because he's a runner, so he doesn't know a marathon runner, so he has no clue, but he wants to do a triathlon. So you have to get all these little things together. So anyway, that is all for today. I appreciate you sticking with me. I've got so much content that needs editing, and this has always been a problem for me, especially as the shop gets busy. I just don't have the time to do the editing. So this is a point and shoot video, no editing, one take, one shoot, upload. So the other ones, I'm sorry, they have to, I need to do a few things to them before I can upload them. Please like and subscribe, please, so we can get this channel to at least 20,000 subscribers. Over 75% of you watching this channel are not subscribed. Please subscribe, and we'll see you up the road.